I think there's a lot of these distractions that appear in our daily lives, especially nowadays. Um, Before, I myself was quite lost in terms of hobbies. I didn't really have much hobbies, and I was always running away from facing pain. And you know, because of that, I would just walk around the streets doing nothing, just wallowing in my own, like, these negative thoughts, and seeing, oh, this happened, that happened, this is gonna be bad, that is gonna be bad. And in the end, nothing really changed. All it did was it just made me feel a lot worse. um, and afterwards, I always bounce back up. Usually when there's a new life event, um, a new milestone, then I would go back to having some better thoughts, thinking more positively. And not just that, I would be actually productive. I wouldn't just be walking around doing nothing. What I'm trying to say is that I think it's very important to have this balance between productivity and also taking some time to not do anything. I think too much of anything is pretty bad. Too much of working is going to just stress out your mind. You're not going to be able to really self reflect or make the right decisions. And too much of alone time and not doing anything is going to make you feel like um, nothing makes sense, and all of it is worthless, pointless. So I think you gotta find a healthy balance all the time. Um, Only then you could be able to have this kind of like, these two extremes are still both important, and these gotta work in unison for you to have a healthy, productive life. So far from what I've seen. So this could be a matter of anything, whether it's earning money or it's having some alone time to really set goals of what you want to achieve and going forward with it. What I want to say about distractions, though, is even when you're going on your path, working and doing things that you actually really want to do and really achieve, there's all these different obstacles that come along the way to take your mind away from what is your ultimate goal. And that could be in the form of friends, form of people, um, substances, other the opposite gender. All these kinds of things are always popping up for all these people. For I think for most people, especially when you're living in a very um, metropolitan city, city that's very fast paced and very work oriented, money oriented, class status oriented. All these things kind of distract you from your actual goals, because each person that comes across to you, they will have a different view of what you yourself need to do. Okay? And they project their worldview and their goals onto you. You start to think, oh, maybe that's what we have to do. Maybe that's what life is. That's what is meant to be. At the end of the day, though, it's all dependent on you. You have to decide what is actually the thing that you need to do. Others can have suggestions. Others can tell you maybe this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. But ultimately, you have to decide what is best for you, because only you know who you are. So, in terms of filmmaking, everyone has this idea, like outside people might say, oh, you shouldn't make films, this is not earning you money, this is useless. And people inside of films might say, oh, you should make this type of film, you should make that type of film, you should work with this person, you should work with that person. But ultimately, you're the one who knows what is the right thing to do. Because only you know everything about your situation. You definitely cannot say everything to everyone, right? I think it's dangerous, really, when you share too much with people. And the reason why is always that these distractions are always going to be there. People are going to distract you from your actual goals, actual real things that you actually have to do that are going to be truly good for you. So, oftentimes, a lot of people, I think, myself included, we really get outside of our actual goals because of outside circumstances. And it takes time to really learn and come back to what is the real thing that we have to do, what we are really capable of. I myself would say I've always wanted to make films and tried to make films, and I keep coming back to it, and I realize that instead of taking all these long breaks and trying to run away from making films, I should just stick to it. I should just work towards it rather than quitting and coming back, because it's not really worth it to have all this wasted time and seeing that we are behind. We could have been like 2 years, 3 years ahead if we just stick to it and invested, made mistakes, found clients, worked through for making films, all these things, you know. So I think in a way I'm still young. Okay, I'm not in the zone of people who are in their early 20s. They have all these gear, they invest a lot, and then they get really far, and then they decide to give up because they couldn't handle the stress. They're too young to handle the stress. I'm grateful that I'm not in that category. Maybe to a certain extent I was in that category for a while. I'm glad that I came back, though. I realized what mistakes that are possible to make, what mistakes I shouldn't make again. So, so in that sense, I'm still grateful for that. I don't really mind being a 30-year-old videographer or a 40-year-old videographer who is very experienced. Instead of that, you know, it's unnecessary to chase after young success. Okay, I think the success that comes with maturity is a little bit more stronger. I'm not against people who are young and successful. I think that has its value as well. Absolutely. I think that kind of energy is very inspiring. All right, it's always going to be inspiring to, like, for example, when I'm 40 years old and I see another 20-year-old videographer or a cinematographer, filmmaker, and then I work with him or her, I'm going to be more inspired. I'm going to be more motivated. All right, it's just how it is. You know, there's value in every kind of thing. So we shouldn't be so, you know, we shouldn't be for or against or feel bad that, oh, this person who is younger is already ahead of me, or this person who is older has all these things, had all these things when he was younger, that's why he's here. I think it's unnecessary to think in that kind of way, you know. So again, these are again things that distract you from your actual goals. These kinds of negative thinking of, oh, this person is ahead, this person started earlier than me, this person had more things than me. This it's all bullshit really when you think about it, you know. Someone is always going to be further ahead than you and have more resources than you. All right. It's always going to be the case. Like the next moment, who when once you are more successful, you're going to be comparing yourself to the millionaire, and the millionaire is going to be comparing themselves to the billionaire. It's endless. This comparing is endless. So instead of that, you should focus more on, okay, what do I have? What can I do? Okay, I'm going to do this with what I have. Okay, and a lot of it also comes from being grateful for what you do have and what you have accomplished, what you're able to accomplish with the people that you're able to accomplish with. All right, this kind of gratitude and understanding really humbles yourself and pushes you to go forward, because you're basing yourself in the reality. You're not basing yourself in an illusionary mind thing. You know, because when you base yourself off of, oh, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, then you're never gonna get there. You're just gonna fail, and you know, it's you're putting yourself to lose all the time, every time. So do you want to win or you want to lose? That is your decision. Okay, if you think like this, you're always gonna fail. If you think in the way that, okay, I've accomplished this, so I'm gonna do this to get to the next step, then you're putting yourself up to win. So I think you gotta make a decision to win rather than fail, regardless of what kind of field you're in. Maybe you're a filmmaker, maybe you're an actor, actress, um, businessman, whatever it is. You gotta put yourself in a realistic setting, look at it practically and see what are the steps, and then go for it. And be very careful of all the distractions that appear out of whatever there is. It's always going to be there. Wherever you go, there's always going to be distractions. So you got to be careful with that as well. And I'm not against cutting off all distractions. As I said before, it's about this balance. You got to balance yourself with working and also having some distractions here and there. Okay, so definitely I'll make a more in-depth video. I think it's a little confusing in the way that I said. So definitely I'll come back with a more in-depth video, maybe even a video that's like 1 hour long, where I really get in depth and maybe even include more editing and different clips. So do let me know if you want those kinds of videos as well. So yeah, this is the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.